Be'ez Hashem, Parshas Miketz, it's Chanuka Tovshin Pevov. We know that Chanuka is the time to thank the Rebbeinu Shalom, and a person has to steig to get a deeper understanding what it means to thank. Now, most of us, when we try to thank the Rebbeinu Shalom, it automatically triggers all our issues. Because what are we thanking about? Struggles that we had, challenges, and Baruch Hashem, the Eibishter helped many times. That causes a person to space out on the problem. It means that's the time to sit and now go back into that world of issues. Oh, Baruch Hashem, it's not that bad. And it comes out that it's like the whole thanking is that it's not so bad. Like a person saying that he's making a huge simcha. Baruch Hashem, a baby was born after 19 years. So really, it's, how did they say that? It's a zach that's soiser. That means if you're thanking, the bigger the simcha is, it just shows the bigger the tzorah. So really, shira.
The light in the dark. So you see the dark.
So you see the dark. So really, shira and hoidah to the Rebbeinu Shalom is supposed to be amazing, and not only about tzorahs. So a person has to develop this feeling, how to thank the Rebbeinu Shalom in a way that it shouldn't be pulling him down and reminding him of all the zachen that he went through and that he's going through. So let's elaborate. What's the reason why Hashem created choshech and tzoros and people wait for Yeshua? And throughout life it's constant. Always something going on. There's always waiting. You always, after a certain Yeshua, waiting for Yeshua. It's always in between. The answer is that it's be'emes impossible to understand and get a grip on the Toiva from the Rebbeinu Shalom unless a person is in a matzav of darkness to a certain extent, and then you could see Yisra Na'orim and Achoshech. You could like see the differences. Imagine all people would have the exact same IQ. We would have a very hard time to chap what it means smart. We wouldn't be able to, it would be impossible to see what does it mean chokhmah, because this would be the reality. Wouldn't Pashat be the reality. So there has to be young people, older people, smarter people. So then it gives you contrast, and the contrast gives you the ability to chap. So that's what it means. So it's the only way. So the Rebbeinu Shalom created choshech, yotze oru bori choshech. And the choshech, the darkness, is something that's a tool, it's a keli, so a person could be able to we say, I was in a matzav, it was hard for me. And Baruch Hashem, Rebbeinu Shalom gave me a big Yeshua. So now you could realize, that's what Toiv means. So we could connect to the Toiv from the Rebbeinu Shalom. But the Eibishter wants that once a person gets that understanding, he shouldn't stop there. Don't only thank the Rebbeinu Shalom in relative to where you're up to in your tzaras. You have a whole graph. Okay, so this issue, thank you Rebbeinu Shalom. Hashem, I would give you 9 out of 10 for that one. Okay, here is 7+. Okay, here we still need Yeshua. The Hoidah, thank you Rebbeinu Shalom, is not supposed to be staying only about your issues. Because then you're missing the concept of saying Shira like the Onivra is supposed to. You were created, especially a Yid that was given understanding and Torah and a Neshama. So he's supposed to be enjoying just being Meshabeach the Rebbeinu Shalom, saying Ashrei, not connected. And you're talking about the unbelievable, like when a person would go out and see the beautiful creation, you see the blue sky and the birds, not connected to the Torah. You say, wow, Marabu Masech Hashem. The same is in Toiv, not only in big creations that the Eibishter created, also the Rebbeinu Shem Zatova. So it's very important that a person should be able to expand beyond the hoidah that you're giving for your specific issue that you're going through in life. So it's true that a person's issues is the trigger. It's helping you get involved, develop the feeling of what it means to say, yeah. We say every morning, Pekeach Ivrim. That means it was night, and my eyes didn't have the koyach of eyesight. And then Hashem opens it, Pekeach Ivrim. And we say, Matir Asurim, Zoikiv Kefufim. If we don't have the no, we don't understand the yes. But once you do have that back and forth, a person says, Oy Bazoid, let me thank about so many other things. Very practical aids for this. As when a person had he had a cut, or he wasn't feeling well, an epis. So they thanked Baruch Hashem, I'm feeling better. Baruch Hashem, my fingers are working. Baruch Hashem. And then they say, the truth is, I never thank about my teeth. Because Baruch Hashem. And so every person, whatever they forget about. So if you wouldn't have any reminder, it would be hard. But once you had a reminder, you had that feeling, so now you're a maven dover mitoich dover, and now you be able to thank the Rebbeinu Shalom on all kinds of hatova and toiv that the Eibush does with you. One of the areas where we see it best is in Birchas Hamazon. When a person ate, we would imagine that the text of benching would be, thank you, Rebbeinu Shalom, it was delicious. Thank you for giving me food. And if you ask someone, you stopped them in the street, what is benching about? What do you mean? I'm thanking Rebbeinu Shalom that he gave me. But if you look what it says, it doesn't Bechlal say that. Bechlal not. Okay, would you... Okay, let's talk Tachlis. It doesn't get there. We say, because... And then we go on. For Torah and for the and they took us out of Mitzrayim. Even anytime you make a bracha with Rabbon, I'm not saying thank you Hashem for this. The answer is you are thanking for this, but that's giving you the ability to thank an overall. And it's exciting because a person's supposed to be into it. Let's not kid ourselves. We are so into our issues that we don't see anything. We don't realize what's going on. We're in a different world. Like, really? A person's like, I don't listen to news. Why? I don't care. Believe me, I have enough on my plate. So the Selbe Zach is a person there's so much out there which a person, if a person would chap, it would get them excited from what's happening in the world, mitzad ha'tova from the Rebbeinu Shalom. But we're too total. So when a person thanks the Rebbeinu Shalom, it's supposed to become into a matzav that they have long forgotten what triggered them. Now they're already on a journey talking about it. When a person gets involved emotionally in any topic, they're long past what triggered them. They're already on because it gave them that ignite, and then they're off on a tangent. They're talking and talking and talking. That's supposed to happen in the positive way of thanking the Rebbeinu Shalom. Well, a person says Nishmas, Ein Anachim Maspikim, Al Elef Alf Elofim, Mitzrayim Gal Tonu. It's a Shabbat way of thanking. I'm not now nitty gritty about. That got me thinking. More than Elefonecha. But if I already think what happened, Ashata also last to see me. We say Friday night. It didn't happen, no issue yet. But the Rebbeinu Shem is showering me with so much toiv. I want to talk about it. I want to acknowledge it. I want to be busy with it. I want to think about it. And that's avoid the Chanuka. To thank beyond your few issues that you're going through. You're allowed to use it, and you should be using it to get you in a spol. You see, the Eibush to help me. But let yourself. Say, oh, Hashem could take on Chazda. Zog the Tfer Shloime. The Tfer Shloime explains that Yisro, it's in Parshas Yisro, that the Eibishter wrote in the Torah that Yisro said, Baruch Hashem Malakei Yisrael, Asher Hitzel Eschem Miyad Mitzrayim. Why is it important to bring a posik to say what a comment that a goy said? Zog the Tver Shloime, the reason for that is because when a person thanks on their own toiva, it's not such an amazing way of thanking. Why? Because you went through this toiva. So ibazoi, it's personal. Personal means, of course you're thanking because you're the guy. But Yisroi went and he thanked for somebody else. The Torah wants to make a dogish. Hey, that's a choshev way of thanking. He thanking somebody else's Torah. Why? So Shlomo explains, because when you're thanking on somebody else's Torah, you're talking about the Shevach from the Rebbeinu Shalom. Not l'shem zgula. Not because you're trying to, it's just time you're seeing the goodness of the Eibishter. Someone out there has to bring it out. There's a Torah that came to the world, and it was meant to be that people should understand. So you should be there, and you should thank for other people's Torahs. You should get in the spol that the Eibishter is helping others. The Tver Shlomo explains this same concept in Shar HaTfilah, the Chelik Beis. He says if a person only thanks on their own toivus, it's a big pchisus hanefesh. It's a shallowness. It's worse than shallow. It's pshat is you're into yourself. It's like behemes. Well, I'm thanking the Rebbeinu. Yeah, but you're not chapping what you're supposed to be chapping. When a person would be misboinen, if you would think about it, how the Eibush is helping Klal Yisrael. All kinds of interesting tovas the Eibush is helping Yidden. A person is supposed to stand and say shiras v'sishbochas for the Rebbeinu Shalom for what the Eibush is doing for Yiddish Kinder. And especially, there's a lot of Yidden that are not thanking for the tovas that they're getting because they're not aware to know Kashanish, but then they're not into that. And you have that understanding, thank the Eibishter. A lot of times, parents could have a child. The child's in a stage in life, or age, or a stage, that then they're bitter about everything. Nobody understands me, and so on. The ganze sugya. But the Eibishter is helping them. So you be moitze them. Rebbeinu Shalom, thank you for help. They're not doing it. Let me do it for them. The father has like achrayis and it's children. It's tamazoi, but this is one of the forms how a person could thank the Eibishter, and it shouldn't be as part of a tzorah. It's not only because thank you for helping me. Now, if a person wants to go weiter, further in this avoid of realizing, a person has to understand that we have to b'chlal chap, that all the situations that are happening to the private person and to Klal Yisrael, is because Hashem is preparing us for the better world. Everything that's happening right now is mamish minor in biyachas. I mean, when you're talking about the big picture, and when the Mishnah says in Perkei Avos that this is proizel atraklan, to get into the banquet hall, we said. So when we thank the Eibishter, we're thanking the Eibishter. The Eibishter is preparing us for where we need to get to for eternity of Toiv, for Toiv that we can't even begin to fathom. So it includes everything. It includes Zachen that the Eibishter is doing us that we do understand, that we don't understand. Yid once told me a tired of word. He told me when the Eibishter brings a tzorah to a person and we don't understand, and we try to thank Allah Ro'ah Kashen Shem V'Ochar Tov. So we say we can't understand, or it's Zichel Tov. Hat gesagt also, why when the Eibishter does something that you feel the Tov, that you see the Tov, why are you thinking that you got it all and you know and you could thank for it? The only difference is one of the millions of explanations you did. You did the experience, but all the rest of the reasons for this Tov, it's the same. The answer, what's pshat? The pshat is that the Eibishter is just pushing the world further. Helping every neshama, helping Klal Yisrael, making sure everybody's getting to where they need to get to, and it's happening. The Tov. So a person can get stuck only on the Sachen that he's now experiencing. His whole musik of the Rebbeinu Shalom is this issue that he has, and now he's davening for it, and now he's thanking about it, and now everything's about this little issue. Emes, this could be a place that you're connected to emotionally. You're very, very connected emotionally to this issue. But say it. It's not a problem, the etzem zach, because we're human, and it's meant to be like that the issues that we have get us thinking. But a person has to be able to get out of that orbit, get out of that, or be able to understand that be'etzem, right now, I'm emotionally connected. But it's fake. The emotions is not the emes picture. It's emes that I have emotions. But not the emes picture. For example, if a person would have a bigger tzorah, all of a sudden they don't care about it. All of a sudden, and that's why sometimes an hour later a person calm down. It's just you're so upset about something. It took him over. He was like all busy with it. So the Zelbazach person has to understand. Let me understand when I say Chanuka Oisali Kol Tzorki. The Rebbeinu Shalom is taking me and pushing me further on to learn lessons, to understand what I need to understand, to prepare for Olam Haba, what's important for my neshama, for the tikkun. And everything is pushing towards that direction. It's not about what I chap that I want right now. It's about Bechlal. Thousands of Sachen that are happening, much more than thousands. I mean, Sachen that are Toch Kedei, while a person is busy, and he's thanking for everything. He's saying, I know that I don't know. Tachlis idea, a person has Shaloi Neida. A person has a but all I know is that the Eibush is being mated with me, and I'm thanking for that bigger picture. I'm thanking for the bigger picture. Another reason why a person has to be able to expand their mahalach of thanking is very interesting. Rambam in Pirush HaMashnaris, the Rambam Perkei on the Mishnah Basorim Amoros Nivra Olam Olevimai Echad Yochel Yiboris. The Rambam in one line, the Rambam explains something very deep. The tachlis of this world is for a person to work out their insides and to gain shleimus hanefesh. Gain shleimus hanefesh means they learn deeper emunah, deeper bitachon. They become a better person from the inside, in being someone that's caring and someone that's giving and someone that's patient and doesn't get upset. Working out that inside of a person, because then a person gets to madrega, the neshama became closer and has the yecholos that the Shechina should be able to rest upon the neshama. That's the tachlis. Now all the zachen that a person is going through is all there as props to help the person acquire this and this madrega, another step in this and this midah. All the people that triggered you and took you out of your kelim, it was bedafka, and it's only the fact that it's supposed to happen to you. Sometimes you gain that midah, you acquire it by being matzliach. Sometimes you gain it by falling through and then hopping and saying, hey, that's not good. Okay, it's also good because in the end, you got it. And that's what's most important. And it goes that far that a person could sometimes feel, Mele, I'm steiging through the Nisayan that I'm having. But never my child. Why does the child have to go through this? This is a famous zach that bothers a person. I chab that it's elevating me, but in the process, someone's paying a price. And the answer is, you could say it in many ways, but it's much more important you should stay than anything else, erstens. That's the main picture. Ikke tot the same Shaldikim Meisim Toivim means, and the Maral explained it there, that the main Nakud of the Gans, everything is, if there's a little change inside. Everything else is external, including people. The Pasuk says it because of the children. Ikke will say in Shaldikim Meisim Toivim. The Marals in Gur Ari on that Pasuk in the beginning of Parashas Noach says, if you have a person who has good children, and he didn't work himself out, then you have another person that doesn't have such good children, but he got a deeper place. So the Torah, the Eibusha chooses B, not A. That's pshat in the Ma'amar Chazal. Why? Because that tzlocha that's in the inside of a person is always going to be deeper, better, broader tzlocha than a tzlocha that's external. It's not tzlocha. Now, it's hard for us to get into such a type of a world because we look at this world as it's a mess. Like, wow, this is a huge mess. What's happening inside? Ach, das shene Zach. But that's like a little footnote in relative to like the big Zach. But the Rambam that we just mentioned and the Maral and the Svarim explain it, they say, you don't understand. All these big buildings are all just perhaps so you could have this Nisayan and this Zach. Now how does it work? But what's with that? Neshama, it's nicht negeya. So we can't negeya, that chelik. There's a certain Tachas Abriya, and Noach has to have Shem Chom B'Yefes. Tachas Abriya for Avram, he has to have this, so he should become Avram Avinu. And it's the Zachas mistakes that a person makes with themselves. The Eibishter doesn't have a problem with a mistake if the mistake could bring you to understand afterwards. Yeah, but it was a big Aveda. I know, but the gain afterwards, the Eibishter created such a type of world. The Eibishter created a world. The Eibishter could have made a different type of world. That within 1 year, 2 years, you could chap how things work. And then, Hashem, beside the Shmaya, 70, 80 years, you big mutzah, you get a 99 the test. 100 without the extra. It's a good. You figure it out. No, they should made a different type of world. The whole life, you're chapping mistake you did yesterday. Till the last day. Once you chapped it, Kaddish. That's it. If you want, you can do tshuva. But if you ever think about it, why doesn't the Eibishter make that we should be able to have the understanding that we ourselves are going to have a few years later? Sachaka, I'm asking for understanding from Malachim. I'm saying you must come to give this knowledge for human being. For Raya, that even a half a year later is definitely, if a person learns some mistakes, definitely 10 years later, you look totally different. Your way of looking and understanding that. So, why do we need to keep Torah mitzvahs and fall straight and make every single mistake in the book? The answer is because this world is a world of props. You're not supposed to be matzliach here. You're supposed to pick up here understanding, feelings of charota, of tshuva, of emunah, of bitochen, and then, very good, you matzliach. Take it there. That's the real world. I don't care if it happened the last day. You don't need it for here. You have to be quiet for there. That's the pshat in Rabbi Elazar ben Dordaya. Rabbi Elazar ben Dordaya, the Gemara says, his whole life he was doing Avedas, terrible Avedas. His whole life. but the worst. Then, the last minute, he had a deep understanding that he never chapped. He sat down and cried because he chapped what happened. He chapped that he can't blame anybody and all the trauma and zachen that he had. Ain't ever told the other be. Not that trauma didn't have to happen. But he chapped that he was supposed to work with it. I was supposed to work with that. I was supposed to understand that was bashert. He had a deep charota. Wow. So I went around blaming everybody. The Gemara says he was blaming Shema and Voretz. And be'etzem, I was wrong. Wow. And he passed out. The pshat is, he was mzum l'chai yodam avo, and he made it, and the Gemara says we call him Rebbe Loza ben Derdai, because he told us that, okay, so the last minute he had a shtickle understanding, Azma. And Lama Shazang he did tshuva. His tshuva wasn't a skabel, but he had a messed up life. It was a messed up life. He did tshuva. You could say it. Be honest. Give him a courtesy that he did tshuva in the end, right? In the end he did tshuva, like Yishmael. In the end he did tshuva. Don't say, wow, amazing, yes, koyin Allah b'shah achas, Rebbe Loza ben Derdai.
Olam means his olam he was supposed to get.
Olam means his olam, he got it. Well, he got it. But when he got it, he died. The answer is, it was for there, it wasn't for here. If he got it, he got it. Now, the Kotzke, he sagt, Bocha Rebbe, because was Haleb made us. But it doesn't contradict, because his Olam Hazeh wasn't taka simple, but what he needed for Olam Haba, he got. If you want to know, when he left this world, he did he got the shlichus. He got the shlichus. Now, it's so hard for us to watch it. It's so painful for us to watch it. Ourselves, our children. Like, okay, when he finished marrying off his kids, it's like that's learning. A person has such deep pain. Why did I have to figure this out by 65, Bemis? Why couldn't I know this when I was 20? This sentence is a gewaltige sentence. That's the sentence he's supposed to be saying. If you find yourself asking the Marshal's Kasha, you understood Toises? If you find yourself saying, I wish I would have known this. I wish I could start again. I wish I could now, with the knowledge that I have now, go back and start again. Very good. But you're making one little mistake. The one little mistake is that the charota is supposed to be the accord understanding, the feelings that I wish, okay, but now continue the song. The continuation of the song is, so why did the Eibishter make this happen? That I couldn't chop this when I was younger. I couldn't. People were telling it to me. The answer is because this world wasn't a place that was created that we should figure it out right away and just be matzliach. Because listen carefully, it's a deep nakuda we're going to say now. If it's so easy to chap, then it's Nahamadik Yisufa. Then the Eibishter gave it to you. Then the Eibishter gave it to you. So why do you have to come down to this world? Let's stay up to the Eibishter gives you all the Tainuk, Schar, Torah and everything. If you're not going to learn from mistakes, then even when you're going to leave this world, you still didn't get it. If you're here, and it's not easy to chap, it's painful, you pay a price. Painful, ahead. And then you chap, then you paid for it. You were coined. There's an understanding, there's an akuda and toida, there's something that said me cost a leben. It was a melchoma. But after that, I think I got it. That's what you were here for. You were here for that. Now, why is it so important, this topic? Because if a person is still busy a whole time only with making sure that the issues that's coming up should go away, and they're thinking about these issues, they should send me this Nissan, not going to work for me. Please take away this, take away that, take away that. You never get to one step weiter. Then a lot of times the person is missing the point, terribly missing the point. Because the pshat is, you're not understanding that all these zachan is a keli to be kind of understandings in Torah. To be able to be kind of, you would never chap what it means to have as Hashem, Havas Yisrael, Chesed Shel Emet. You would never chap it business off. So you thank the Rebbeinu Shalom that the Eibishter learned Torah with me. The Eibishter elevated me. The Rebbeinu Shalom took me some journey. But after that, while I was in the journey, it was painful. Bam is painful, bitter. But afterwards, I chapped something I never chapped. I chapped that the Rebbeinu Shalom has a cheshbon, and it made me be more totally in Hashem. It made me do tshuva on certain areas that I wasn't doing well. It took away some koich avodas miyadi. Wow. Person chaps the tachlis of the journey. And a person chaps the tachlis of the journey, that's something. That's amazing. Because then you're talking about the bigger picture. Not about, there was a mistake that I waited 5 years, and Baruch Hashem, they helped. It's about what I gained. A person thanks us, it's Sonu Eretz Mitzrayim. It's not about only that we left Mitzrayim. It's the journey, what Mitzrayim did to us. We took the Netzitzis and we became a Yiddish folk, and we got to where we needed to get to, and we gained Chelkei Neshama. It's a whole picture. So we're thinking about the journey. That's what the Eibush is doing with each and every one of us. When we're in the mood, when we're not in the mood, if we care, if we don't care, it doesn't make a difference. The Eibush takes a person and brings them up. And today a person learns to see the Toiv from the Rebbeinu Shalom. But seeing the Toiv is a much bigger gain than the Toiv itself. It's not only about the Ikke is the Baruch Shem, but now don't forget to call and say thank you. It's the saying the thank you was the tachlis from the ganze Meises, so you should be able to chap. So you should be, if you could do that, it's a chals geloint. Amazing. You know this, they have today, that when there's a song playing in the background or something, and then you have with sand, a person drawing pictures, making gorgeous little people and everything. Now by the next part of the song, they go, whoop. Now if there's a guy there and says, hey, what'd you do? You just killed that guy. He was such a cute little fellow. The answer is, I just needed him, so you should connect to this. When that feeling happened, Eibusha does that to our life also. They mean that certain matzavim, that's why when the Geula comes, the matzav all of a sudden disappears. Sometimes it's a tzara that disappears, sometimes it's stam. All of a sudden, changed. No more. Pshat is because it wasn't a real zach. It was perhaps to get people out of their comfort zone. But the regular person learned what they needed to learn, there's no purpose anymore. No purpose. Whoop. That's why a lot of times when a person thanks on the Torah, it goes away. The Rabbi Yonah says, Ki chamas odam teideko, she'eris chemois tachgor. Pasuk in Tehillim in the Pei, Pei Vov or something, not Pei Vov, Pei Heime. What is the Rabbi Yonah explains? What's the taich of this pasuk? It's hard words. Dr. Azoy. Ki chamas odam teideko, she'eris chemois tachgor. It means like this. Chamas Odom means when the person has hardships. Chemo, when there's dinim on a person. When a person thanks, Ki Chamas Odom Teideko, She'eris Chemois, the rest of the chemo, Tachgor. Tachgor is a lashon from holds it back. Chagira Sipoya means it gets stuck it stops in the sakin from Shchita. What's Pshat? Pshat is, once you realize it's from Hashem, once you realize it's Toiv, once it did its purpose, it could disappear. Because it wasn't true to begin with. It was Achizas Einayim. It's now, so don't get busy only thanking. It's doing so. Ishkoich for taking me on the journey. Shkoich will take me. That's the ikkish koich. A little word is like, if imagine a parent takes a child to the doctor to check out something, and the doctor takes care of it and treats it, and the person goes through their journey, and they become a gesunde mensch. Baruch Hashem, they're healthy again and everything. Now, the child doesn't really chab what's happening, because he doesn't know what it means, machla, and what he doesn't chab the ganze mais. So there's a different parts of it. There's a tree in the middle. I'm going to give you the sweet little, but then it hurt. In the middle it hurt. So the father tells the child, another 5 minutes, and I'm going to take you off that chair. Okay, 5 minutes. I'm going to tell you a story. Another 5 minutes, I take you off the chair, and then you're going to feel much better. Okay. It goes past the 5 minutes. The father takes off the chair, and Baruch Hashem is better. Now the child wants to be makatoiv, buys a card and some flowers, and writes a whole note to the father. I can't thank you enough for taking me off that chair. And the father says, but never. I thought you were going to tell me for getting me through this, for the refuah that I gave you. That's how we are. There's a certain journey, and we're begging, and they wish us another 5 minutes, I'm going to take you off that chair, and they wish takes us off that chair, and we're only busy with that. Ist nicht kein Schad. Auf Freilichen Chanuka.
So what time, as much as was talking about